Hello everybody, my name is Derby Guinea and welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of my top 5 most disturbing manga I've read so far. If you haven't watched the first one, the link will be down in the description box below. Like before, this video may be controversial with certain themes, so I am going to put a warning right here. I will also refrain from going into too much detail with the descriptions, but I'll put a spoiler warning here just in case. Now without further ado, let's get right into the video. Pumpkin Night is a weird one. The manga starts off with a girl named Oyasumi, who later gets stalked and hunted down by an escapee from a mental hospital. That escapee just so happens to be Naoko Kurino, a former student Oyasumi and a group of friends relentlessly bullied in middle school. Kurino goes on a hunting spree, seeking revenge towards the remainder of the group and anyone else who wronged her. Typical vengeance-style plot. Except that it's not. There's honestly so much going on in this manga, I gave up after chapter 30. The plot is kind of all over the place, and the translation is a mess in itself. Very cringy, very dumb. After the end of each chapter, they take a panel and write a racist or homophobic joke on it. It's just really not needed and takes away from how the manga is supposed to be read, which is definitely a shame. If you're only interested in the gore, however, you've come to the right place. It's got plenty of that and is very, very detailed with it. Fuan no Tane, or Seeds of Anxiety, is a series of short stories that are definitely anxiety-inducing. Some of the panels give the reader little to no explanation to the creature at hand, leaving you to your imagination on how it got there or what it plans to do. I love how some of the chapters are able to tell the stories by images alone. The fewer the words, the better the impact. Oyasumi Punpun, or Goodnight Punpun, is a twisted coming-of-age story. We, the readers, get to see a once innocent, naive boy slowly turn into a grim, solemn adult, pushed aside by the people he once thought he should look up to, and by society itself. As a kid, he meets a girl named Aiko. After meeting her, his life spirals off into essentially the deep end. Oyasumi Punpun isn't disturbing in a horror type of sense, but more of a realistic approach to real-life problems most people may have gone through or may even have witnessed. Depression, abuse, loneliness, despair. These are just some of the themes portrayed in this manga that is written in a real, almost too close for comfort type of way. Small disclaimer on this manga, beware there is a lot of R word in it. I can't say the full word because of YouTube, but I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. It's to the point where, to me, it affects the whole manga. So if you do read it yourself, you have been warned. I have a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to this read. Mainly anger, but maybe I'll go more into detail with that in a separate video, depending on how many of you would be interested in that. Wink wink, nudge nudge. This is another vengeance-style plot, but ups its antics with the gore, and oh my goodness is it creative with it. I never thought I would see old torture devices being used in a 2020 manga. The story follows Shun on his vengeance to take out his former classmates that bullied him times 1,000. Like, some of the things that go on in this manga shouldn't be realistically possible for kids their ages, but since when is anything realistic in revenge genres? While Q, the main bully, takes things way too far involving Shun's family, Shun eventually breaks. He then gets trained by his former war veteran grandpa, and yeah, a lot of stuff goes down. This manga grabs your attention very quickly, and I would say it's good if it wasn't for some of the poor writing decisions. It's okay at best. I'm going to throw another disclaimer for this one too. This manga has some real messed up stuff in it. Any and everything you can think of has probably found its way in this. If you're not a fan of extreme messed up shit, you should definitely stay away from this manga in particular. Ichi the Killer will take you on a ride. This is by far the craziest manga I've read thus far. Maybe besides this, but I'm not sure if I can even count this as a manga, as it's just straight up hentai. Ichi is a hitman who was hired, or more like intensely manipulated, to take out a Yakuza clan. The now head of the clan, Kakihara, is on a blinded quest of revenge to find out who killed the previous head boss. Now the thing about these two characters don't just stop there. Ichi is a sadist, taking extreme joy out of hurting or even watching the pain of someone else. And Kakihara is a masochist. I don't think I need to explain what he likes. Now the thing that makes this manga so interesting to me is that in order to have Ichi eliminate his targets, he has to be triggered by something in his past by his group members, mainly Gigi, which causes him to black out and cry. Once the target is taken out, he completely forgets what he had done, and sometimes even regrets it. It makes me wonder, are some of those stories completely real, or fabricated into the mind of a very troubled assassin? In terms of gore, it will not disappoint, especially in the awaited final showdown between Ichi and Kakihara. That was one of the most graphic but goofy fights I have ever seen in a manga. If you're fine with reading crazy stuff, I highly suggest checking this one out. Alright you guys, that wraps up my list. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't watched my first disturbing manga video, it'll be down below. If you like this video, please do me a favor and pull on that like button to subscribe. Until next time, Derpy out.